All right, friends, welcome to part 2 of our series on the nine lessons we learned in the 9 years of marriage.
Too many fingers.
I like this. Yeah. All right, stay tuned.
All right, we're going to go with number 4 now. And number 4 is don't forget to be kind to each other.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think, so for me as a pastor, I have the opportunity to sit with a lot of couples that are going through just a difficult season in their marriage. Sometimes they've just kind of hit a rut. And I think one thing that I notice is that we are so much more kind, compassionate, respectful, humble when it comes to all of the other people we deal with in life.
Strangers.
So people we work with, even strangers, people that we go to school with, whoever it might be, we're kind, compassionate. And then we come home to our spouse, to our children, and all of a sudden, we don't feel the need to be kind anymore. There's like this entitlement. There's this, I deserve to act however I want to act. I don't have to be nice. I can be rude. I've been nice all day. I want to be rude in my house. And people are just more kind to everybody else in their life other than their spouse and their kids. And so I say it's so important to be kind to each other. Say please and thank you. Be respectful. Husbands, hold the door open for your wife. That's not old fashioned. It's just kindness. Just be nice in your home and with your children. What do you think, Simi?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Whenever I talk to young singles, especially ladies, they're always like, oh, I don't want to get married because they know that art of gentleness and kindness kind of flees as you settle in marriage. And it shouldn't be that way. And it's this natural inclination, like Jason was talking about, that we have to store up all the stress and come home and blow up on our family because we know they're stuck, right? They can't go anywhere. They're not going to judge us. They're going to love us regardless. So we sit there and we take it out on them. But that's so unfair. And that's not really pouring in and filling the other person up. And so if you want to have your marriage be successful and you want your marriage to grow and be healthy, then you need to intentionally make sure that you're coming home and you're being kind. And it's like small things. It's just acknowledging, like when your spouse does something, whether it's small or big, just saying thank you, that I acknowledge your heart. I saw that you changed that diaper. I saw that you took the trash out. And sometimes, we might think, well, why do I have to say thank you for something simple like that? Well, why not? Like Jason said, when a stranger holds a door for us, we say thank you. We can do that. That's not a big deal, but we still take the time to do that. So let's act like humans and be civil with each other. And these are the most important people in our lives, right? And so what's the point of us being nice and being Jesus to the whole world, but not showing it to our own spouses, not even our own children? And so we have to shift that mindset.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. If you think this is silly or trivial, I would ask all the married people who are watching this, if you have ever once thought to yourself, oh, nobody notices what I do, and nobody acknowledges how much I do in my family or in my home. Nobody notices. If you've ever had that thought, and I guarantee you 100% of you have had that thought, it's not trivial. It's not silly. You want someone to acknowledge, someone to say thank you, someone to say I appreciate that. You want that. And it's so important that we practice that in our relationships.
Yes. So number 4, don't forget to be kind to each other. And 5, always believe the best in the other person. I think this is important because when we have conflict, we tend to see each other's flaws, right? Like when we are in an argument, I immediately see that he's wrong, that everything he's done is wrong. He's the jerk. I'm fine. And we are so blind to our own mistakes. The things that we said are okay in our own minds because we are just so in defense mode. We're defending ourselves. So this person's wrong. I'm right. And we tend to almost make that person out to be a monster. And we forget that this person is our life partner, is our soulmate. They love us. They want the best for us. They're not intentionally leaving the laundry out. They're not intentionally leaving the sink full of dishes to ruin your life or ruin your day. They are, they're good people with good hearts. So it's so important for us to separate the action or the behavior from the person and really love them in order for us to resolve conflict.
Yeah, I think the Apostle Paul writes a treatise on love in Corinthians to the church in Corinth. And one thing he says there is that love is always hopeful. And one way we can kind of translate that for our modern day language is he's saying that love always looks for the best and looks for the best intentions, look for the best in the other person. And I have a way of judging other people based on exactly what they do. And I judge myself based on all of my best intentions, right? And so, in this moment, I probably didn't do what I should have done, but I was having a bad day and this was going on and this was going on and this was going on. You got 100 reasons why you make a mistake. But when it comes to somebody else, you never stop to think, well, maybe they've had a bad day. Maybe something's going on in their life. Maybe they had a stressful drive home. Maybe they had a hard day with the kids, whatever that is. So always look for the best in each other.
Yes. All right, so last one that we're going to share today is be each other's best friends. And I know that kind of sounds cheesy, but it's so important. And it's important because oftentimes as we are in marriage, like for 9 years or more, we tend to kind of drift apart and we forget that the main reason that we got married is because we were each other's best friends, right? And so it's so important to cultivate that friendship in marriage and be each other's safe place. So when I have something good happen in my life, he's the first person I call. When I'm having a bad day and I'm stressed out, he's the first person I text or call because he's my safe place. Not somebody else, not another guy, not another girl, nobody else. He's my safe place because he's my best friend. And that's so key to kind of cultivate that and keep that going, and in order to protect and cherish your relationship.
Yeah, I think that also breeds longevity, and I think that's the only way for me to be hopeful about spending the rest of my life with someone, if it's genuine, true friendship. And so it's not just based on feelings. It's not just based on like our physical appearance, which makes perfect sense when we're 20 and we're 30, and when my wife looks like this, that makes perfect sense. But one day we're gonna be 90, and neither one of us is still gonna look this way when we're 90. Hate to break that to you, but we're not. But if we're friends, if we're best friends, I think that breeds longevity, and every year from here until the day that I'm not on this earth anymore will be fun and enjoyable, and I'm gonna look forward to being with Simi on all those days because we're friends.
Yeah, and that also means that you protect the other person, meaning like, as a woman, I know like sometimes when we gather together, people start bashing on their husbands, or they start talking about like, oh, my husband doesn't ever do this, or my husband does this. And not all women, not all the time when we get together, but we tend to do that sometimes innocently. But it's so important not to get into that husband bashing type of conversation. Bring your husband down and talk ill of your husband, or if you have a conflict or if you have an issue, which is normal, we all do, to go talk to some other person.
Men don't do that. Guys do not talk about their wives.
They don't talk about, they don't, they just talk about sports, right?
Right. Yeah. I stick up for my brothers.
But it's so important not to talk about your spouse, but talk to your spouse. And that's being part of that best friend type of relationship and being the safe place, because if he knows you're talking about him, he's not going to think that you're safe, a safe place to come to, right? So you want to cultivate that intimacy in your relationship through cultivating friendship.
Have you been sticking up for me?
Of course.
Thank you. I didn't even know that. I appreciate that. Be kind.
Of course.
Be kind.
All right, guys. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and join us next time as we share the last 3 things of what we learned about in the 9 years of marriage.
I talk too much. Simi cannot fit these all into one video.
Sorry.
Yeah. Next time.